What's going on, y'all? It's your man Pristine. So this is the rear camera system for the OnePlus 6T. Now we've got a primary 16 megapixel sensor and a secondary 20 megapixel telephoto lens. We do have the 2x optical zoom, as I just displayed right there. We do have optical image stabilization and electronic image stabilization on board, and so moving around while you're recording videos should not be a problem at all whatsoever. Videos should be playback should be nice and fluid and smooth. So let's go ahead and get out of the vehicle here. Let's get out the Pristine Mobile 2 and go for a stroll. Beautiful day here in Seattle, Washington. It's cold, but it's nice. I'll take it. It's gorgeous. Just recently got rid of all this snow. We had this major snowstorm, which is very unlikely for Seattle. But hey, every now and then it drops. It dumps on us. And it did, for sure. So yeah. So here we are. Absolutely gorgeous. Color reproduction is on point, as it ought to be. I'm really loving the way that the camera just adjusts to the different lighting, just from being inside of the car and transitioning from the lighting outside. I mean, didn't seem as though the camera struggled at all with making the adjustment. And I'm gonna just go ahead and stroll around like I normally do. Like I said, I don't really have to grip the camera tightly as I would any other phone that does not have optical image stabilization, because this one does. And this camera is really just, it's a little bit of an upgrade over the OnePlus 6, which also had a fantastic camera. A lot of the upgrades have been just software updates that have made the camera enhanced a bit. We do have a night mode, which night shots looks very, very pleasing to the eyes. I was blown away by some of the night shots that this phone takes, as you guys saw as I was displaying a lot of the photos. So, I think with this particular camera, I mean, you're getting the total package here. This camera here is definitely on par with the Pixel devices, the iPhones, Samsungs, some of the best cameras that are out there. I mean, OnePlus is definitely a part of that conversation, in my personal opinion. The portrait shots, I mean, you can do it all. You've got pro mode. I mean, you've got your manual mode. I mean, if you want to take full control over things and be able to control like your ISO and shutter speeds, white balance, all that kind of thing, you can do that all here in the OnePlus 6T. So again, this is that 2x optical zoom. You see how far it zooms in. I'll go ahead and hit it back to the wide angle view. And here's our regular 16 megapixel sensor. Okay. So let me know what you guys think about the camera system or the rear cameras on the OnePlus 6T. Let me know that in the comments. I'm going to swing the camera around and we're going to take a look at the front facing camera, and then we'll wrap the video up. All right. All right, y'all, so this is the front-facing selfie camera on the OnePlus 6T. We've got a 16 megapixel snapper here. We do have electronic image stabilization. All right, now on this camera system, we do have the ability to record in 4K. We've got 4K recording at 30 or 60 frames per second, full 1080p at 30 frames per second, and 720p at 30 frames per second. I think at full 1080p, you can do 60 frames as well. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but just the ability to be able to do that. We know that one of the best phones to capture video is iPhones. And for a while there, it seems like some of the iPhone cameras were the only ones that can record in 4K at 60 frames per second. So it's nice to see that that feature is here on the OnePlus 6T. Again, dedicated night mode, electronic image stabilization, optical image stabilization. You know, you're not going to have to cuff this phone extremely tight as you would a device that does not have optical image stabilization. I mean, so videos are nice and clean, nice and fluid, not a bunch of shakiness or anything going on as you're moving about. You don't necessarily have to keep the phone on a gimbal or anything like that. And I mean, as far as what I can see, I mean, the color reproduction is just... Yeah, this camera is definitely up there with the top dogs, you know, Pixel, iPhone, Samsung, Huawei. I mean, yeah, the OnePlus is definitely a part of that conversation, man. So yeah, let's go ahead and get out the car and stroll around a little bit and see what it's looking like when you're moving around taking a selfie video. All right. All right, so here we go. Still down at the park, beautiful day. Strolling around. Beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous here. Color reproduction and everything is on point as it ought to be. I'm very impressed with this camera here. OnePlus, I mean, it's like they're just getting better and better. And I understand that there's been a little bit of a price hike with their devices, but still, I mean, this phone, $580 for the 8 gig of RAM, 128 gig variant, which is what this device is, straight out of T-Mobile. You know, there is the 64 gig of storage, 6 gig of RAM variant, which is going to cost maybe, I think, $459, $450 or something like, or $449.99, $450 or something like that. You can get that from your OnePlus website, or you can get it on Amazon or some other online sites. This phone is definitely a beast, for a fact. Somebody asked me a couple of days ago, you know, if this phone was still relevant in 2019, stacked up against a lot of the competition. And I'm like, well, you know, we've yet to see a lot of phones come out, you know, that have the new, you know, Snapdragon 855 processor and all that kind of thing. You know, just a wave of new phones that are going to be coming out in 2019. So as of today, what's today? But February 21st, 2019, the OnePlus 6T right now is still beasting a lot of the competition out there. Honestly, I would rather have this phone than the Pixel, to be honest with you. You know, it costs less and it's just as good in my personal opinion. You know, the only thing that the Pixel has on this phone is that it has an IP rating and it is now wireless charge compatible. Those are things that you don't have on the OnePlus 6T here. I'm sure you'll be able to find those things in the OnePlus 7, or I'm hoping. Keep our fingers crossed. All right. But as far as just, you know, the build quality of the phone, the look of the phone, the teardrop notch as opposed to the big, you know, cutout at the top, the cameras, the performance, Snapdragon 845 processor, 8 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of onboard storage. Come on, man. This phone is a monster. It's beasting a lot of phones out there. And it doesn't cost as much as a lot of the competition. So this is the front-facing 16-megapixel snapper on the OnePlus 6T. Let me know what you guys think about it down in the comments. You already know, if you like this video, hit that thumbs up button. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to expose yourself to tons of videos that I've done like this one. Definitely keep it locked here at Pristine Mobile Tech, because I've got so much more content to come. Be sure to hit that notification bell so that every time I upload a video, you can get the notification, be the first to check it out. Get down in the comments, man. Let me know what you think about what you saw. I'll do my best to answer any questions or comments that you guys may have in future videos, or just messaging you back on YouTube. All right, you already know, man. Keep it safe. Get spiritually fit in 2019. We're definitely living in the last days. Get Christ off in your lives, man. That's the best thing that you could ever do, no matter what you got going on in your lives, man. God is always ready to start over. Remember that. All right, keep it pristine in every aspect of your lives. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.